Welcome back to the Everything Food Podcast, where we break down the good, the bad, and the ugly of how food shapes our lives. Today, we are at Mount Healthy Middle School with Chef Koree, a chef,
Hey.
educator, and community builder who's proving that school food can be more than calories on a tray. It can be culture, it can be confidence, and it can be a spark. Hey, Chef Koree.
Hey, how are you?
All right, tell us about you. Who is Chef Koree?
Chef Corey is a foodie chef. I love all things food. So I started cooking about 5 or 6 years ago during the pandemic, and it was just something to do because during COVID everything was closed. And so it used to be this app called Tasty. They would show you how to make recipes. And so I started doing that, and then I'm like, okay, I got a passion for this. So then I ended up going to culinary school, and now I love me food. I love to cook. I love teaching others about it.
Okay. What school you go to?
Cincinnati State.
Boom.
Just the regular
Cincinnati
culinary
State
arts program.
alumni.
Cincinnati State alumni. So it's actually a funny story because now I actually work with my teacher from Cincinnati State.
Happen. You'll run into them, and sometimes you do. I've worked with past instructors and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is
Quick
funny.
question:
Uh-huh.
how do you bring real flavor into a school setting without losing the nutrition standards?
Just getting them to try new ingredients and try recipes outside of what they're used to because they're so used to cooking certain things at home or their family only cooks certain things. They're so used to these packaged snacks. So just getting them to try things outside of their comfort zone. Sometimes they don't want to try it. Sometimes they will try it. They might cook it, decide that they don't like it, but at least they tried it. Some of them will try it and then they end up loving it. So something new to add in their repertoire.
Right. So, do you think that by using the food to teach them that it builds confidence and teamwork?
Yes. I think, yeah, teaching them how to cook, it definitely does build confidence within themselves and being confident with each other. Cause then they're able to rely on each other. They want me to walk them step by step, but I kind of step back because I will walk them step by step. But then I'm starting to realize that you can't walk them step by step because they won't learn. So they'll start relying on themselves, like reading that recipe, talking to each other, asking them what they did, or they might notice that a friend did something wrong and then they know not to do that.
So, what ages are you teaching?
So it's actually a high school. It's from ninth to 12th grade. So what age is that? That's probably about 13, 14 to 18.
Yeah.
Like 14 to 18. So the younger kids, of course, is you could just tell between the younger kids and the older kids because the older kids, some of them you could tell that they cook at home. So as far as cleanup and reading directions and following instructions, they're down to it. And it's like the younger kids, it's just like having to hold their hand, tell them like, all right, now you did this, do this. Or some of them, they are younger, but depending on what environment they come from, some of them already know what to do, cleaning up, wiping the stoves down, wiping the counters down. Everybody just comes from a different background, so you just never know what you're getting.
Right. So is it it's a challenge kind of elevating what they doing in the school meals itself. So
Yeah.
after you say you got a class, you teach the class, you go through your curriculum or whatever how you do it. What happens to the food after that?
They get to take it with them. Sometimes we might have days where we're not cooking anything and they might want to get in the kitchen. We might have like some leftover ingredients. They get in the kitchen and make something. Sometimes they'll wrap it up, put it in the refrigerator for them to take home because they want their families to try, which is exciting. But sometimes they want to eat it like right now, or some of them they'll take it out. And as soon as they get out in the hallway, the kids are like, oh, let me get some, let me get some. So everybody just always wants to cook. Everybody just always wants to cook in class, wants some food, but everybody doesn't get in. So when they hit that hallway with that food, game over.
And so the cooking class students are in high demand
Yes,
when they go to
yes,
class.
they are.
They probably willing and dealing.
Yeah, but then it's crazy because last semester, each class we had about 6 classes a day, and they were each 45
Mm.
minutes. And 45 minutes, that's not a lot of time to get stuff done, especially by the time they come in here, they got to go to the bathroom, they got to get something to drink, they got to settle down because they just might have had a class where it was quiet, you could hear a pin drop. Then they come in here, and then now they hype, they amped up. Or it might be the other way where they came from a class that's hype and then now here they got to lock in because it's like We got to focus. We got to do this in 45 minutes, cleaning up stuff back in 45 minutes. But this semester, the classes are block schedule. So it's 3 classes a day, and they're in here for an hour and a half. So they're in here for like 2 bills.
So I noticed you mentioned something about the instructor at from Cincinnati State. So he's there. Y'all had like a hybrid program.
Yes. So they just built a whole new kitchen down at the other end of the school. It's a professional kitchen. It's about like 20 top gas burners, and it's got like six gas burners. It's got all the new electronics, all the bells and whistles down there. So they're actually preparing for the Cincinnati State course. They do cooking 100, which is just basically like demonstration where they watch the videos. They used to type out the recipes, but now they have the recipes handed to them. And then they do like cooking 101. They do bacon. And I think they're trying to get garmage down there in butchery. I'm not sure the process or the progress with that. So they see Cincinnati State courses. So what they do is after they graduate here, because the idea is to have them in there from freshman to senior year. Some of them
Right.
come here sophomore, junior year, so they're not able to be in here all that time. So when they graduate, they leave with some credits towards the Cincinnati State Culinary Arts Program.
Okay, that was my next question. So
Yes.
initially, before they get in the Cincinnati State program and they with you, are they getting some type of certification that piggybacks over until the Cincinnati State portion of it?
Yeah. So up here they're not. This is more so like a home economics. We do healthy cooking,
Okay.
international cooking, and what's in the pantry. So what's in the pantry is basically I give them a cooking method of the week. They have to look at what we have in the kitchen and then they have to decide what to make with that cooking method. Down there though, they do first aid, they do serve safe, and I think they graduate with a certificate. But up here they still do, excuse me, up here they still do have to learn like some basic, food safety
Hmm.
stuff. You can't just like throw them in there, but it's no certificate. Not like how it is down there. It's just like
Right.
basic things that they can take with them to carry over home, or if they go down there, they might know some stuff from up here.
So you said something about something of the week. What's that again?
Wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
You said something about you was doing something of the week where they you just kind of
Oh, yes,
say,
a
hey, this
cooking
is
term. So the last week, well, they were here Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. So this week we ended up doing, what was it? Creaming, bacon, and cutting. So like cutting in butter or cutting in an ingredient. So they had to decide what to make. I had some students do cinnamon rolls. I don't think that was really two of the techniques, but she wanted to try it. I let her try it. We had another student do cookies, cutting in that creaming that butter and sugar together and then baking it. I had another student do like brownies. I think I had somebody do like a brookie, which is like a brownie cookie. So it's just I tell them a cooking method and they get creative, which is good because some of them they just want to make the same thing each week. And I'm telling them like get creative, y'all. Look up recipes, look at what we have. And it's just so funny because they'll look at like stuff that we have in here and they don't think that they could make anything with it. So then I'm like, you could try this, you could do this, you could do that, do this. Some of them would be looking crazy, like, what? Then they'd try it, and then they ended up liking it. So it's just interesting. Like sometimes you could just see their little bulbs turning, the little wheels turning, I should say. You can see their wheels
yeah,
turning.
yeah,
And then some of them, they need like a spark. They need just some help.
yeah. So could you tell us something that behind the scenes that the public will be shocked to know about not just your cooking thingy, but anywhere? I mean, where you've been, something that the public would be like, wow, I never knew chefs go through that, or I never knew culinary educators went through that.
Yeah, I don't think this is quite a surprise, but just the constant cleaning. It's just like a constant,
Right.
a constant cleaning thing, like cleaning up as you go. Like I said, they're still in high school, so I don't really put too much on them. But just like the constant cleaning, I stay late to clean up, make sure the kitchen is perfect before I leave, and just like ingredient use, like just being getting creative. It's just like when people cook, they think that you can only make things a certain way, or if you are out of an ingredient that you can't do anything. But it's so much you can get creative in the kitchen. You could find ways to do new things. So I'm big on that.
Sounds good. So these programs are great because when I was in the industry, nothing. It was home ec and that was it.
Yeah.
They didn't teach you the intricacies like you're. teaching now. We went
Yeah,
to
I think it's
school, we
great.
ate the school lunch. If you were signed up for home ec, you went to home ec. Home ec basically taught you, how to cook at home. That's why it was
Yeah,
called home
yeah,
education, home ec. And and then all of a sudden you get excited. You want to be a chef, you want to be a cook or whatever, and you end up in the kitchen. And most people didn't start out as a cook or a chef. You
yeah,
started out as like dishwasher or a prep, and you
yeah,
fought your way up to that position.
yeah,
And because that way you kind of appreciated the position once you got it.
yeah. Because
So it
you
was
worked hard to get there.
right.
And you
You
see,
bust
like,
your
and then
butt.
when you work your way up, you just kind of see like the whole parts of the kitchen because it's not just like cooking and that's it. You see how everybody is working together to make that happen.
So the way it's set up there, you say you're teaching 5 or 6 different classes, sets of students a day, right?
Yeah. Yes. So luckily with the bell schedules, would it be in the bell schedule block schedule this semester, only being in here for 3 classes, an hour and a half. Everybody can't get those 2 bells, out of classes. So you might have some people that's they're caught up on all their credits. So they need a class. So they get put in here for 2 bells. But everybody can't do that. Some of them they need to take English or math, and with what is being offered at certain times, they can't have those blocks. So last semester, I went from having about like 20 kids 6 times a day for 45 minutes, which was like
Whoa.
pure chaos. Yes. So
Right.
now it's only like 10 kids max in one of my classes. And I feel like I'm able to get more personal with the kids, especially being in here for an hour and a half. And I feel like that's a good enough time for them to actually like get settled, make a game plan, execute it, clean up, put stuff up, and still be able to relax and eat. Versus the 45 minutes, I feel like we running around like this, like how they be in the movies, like behind you, and his dishes piled up all over the place. But
The
I'm liking
place
this
on
hour
fire,
and a
smoke
half.
in the air,
Yes, yes,
sprinklers going off.
yes. But I think they enjoy this hour and a half now. I definitely do. So
They keep coming back.
yeah,
That tells you enough. They could get there and have an attitude, but you deep down,
yes,
you wanted to be here.
yes.
And
So
nobody forced you to be here. You wanted to be here.
yeah, and that's what I tell them, like, because then they be like, they like, we cooking today, and I say like no, and they're like, why we not cooking today? I'm like, yeah, food is expensive, and we got a budget. We got a certain amount of kids up here. We got a certain amount of kids down there. We're working on a budget for the rest of the year, and it
Right.
makes them mad sometimes they can't cook every day. And I'm like, every day won't always be about cooking. Some days you need to figure it out, prep some stuff, come up with a plan, and then the next day you might be able to cook and execute it.
Mhm.
And everybody's like
So
always
do
coming
y'all?
by visiting. And they be outside
So
like,
that's
y'all got the food?
and I wanted to go through that. So with the food, sometimes do y'all have like community events or fundraisers or maybe even like feeding the staff, maybe?
No, but that is something that I want to get into. So downstairs they have a cooking entrepreneurship class. It's for kids that might be like special education. They might need like a credit. And so I think like down there they do is like they help these kids create breakfast items, and they come through every Friday and they sell breakfast to the staff. So they'll send out a sheet maybe at the beginning of the week, um
Mhm.
ask them like what they want. It'd be like a biscuit on there, blueberry muffins, coffee cake. They'd get like a spreadsheet. Everybody would answer that, and then they'll spend those couple of days maybe prepping the muffins, prepping the biscuits, putting that stuff in the freezer. So then the morning of selling, they're down there like cooking the sausage, cooking the eggs, taking the biscuits back out, throwing those biscuits together. Then they go around to each room, collecting the money and selling the food to the staff. Now I think that is something that I would want to get into. Maybe like cooking food for the staff. I know I do that regardless. Like if it's extra ingredients, especially because I don't like things to go to waste, I'll cook it. Now I go around with a card giving it out to the teachers. I do want to get the students involved, but surprisingly, they never want to cook for the teachers. They only want to cook for themselves, their friends, or their family. They always like, they like, you always cooking for the teachers. And I'm like, yeah, because this is a team and we're dealing with you
Right.
guys. But we got to deal with them. What about us? So sometimes I will make them a little something. But it's actually an event coming up with the volleyball players. I think it's opening night, and they want my students to help make like I think it's like spaghetti. I think they want to do like breadsticks. They want to do like a whole like serving thing, and they want my class to help them with that, like getting the food together and then helping them serve that food to the volleyball players. So I think that is something that we're going to do. They're figuring out like the money thing as far as like fundraisers. No, we've done a event before where it's like they have like a opening, not an opening night, but it's like an information session where parents can come. They kind of get information about after school programs that we offer. And one of them is a culinary club. So we ended up getting some stuff together and then giving it away at the event. So it was like a charcuterie board. It was lasagna dippers. What else was it? Wontons, and I think that was it. So that was fun being able to do that. And they were so surprised. The parents were like, "Y'all did this?" We're like, "Yeah." So it's just like fun being able to do that. But I would like to do more of that in the future.
Okay. Now we got Chef Koree, the culinary instructor at the school, but we also have Chef Koree who be spinning the wheels of steel on, TikTok and doing her own
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Catering, meal prep,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Let's explain some of that and give us some links to where we can find Chef Koree outside of the school.
Yes. So TikTok became a thing, like I said, back in the day when COVID was going around. I was on Tasty, and then I actually ended up seeing like people doing TikTok videos, cooking TikTok videos. And that's when like TikTok had first came out. So I started it a little bit here and there, but it was never like a thing. And so now I'm actually being more consistent with that. My TikTok is what I think it's Chef Corey. I cannot think of the name. I think it might be Kiss the Chef. I know I'm terrible.
I
KISS.
think it's Kiss the Chef.
Yes, KISSCHEKHEF. I think it's and because I sometimes I change it. Yes. So I'm hoping one day. I know one day it will. It just takes time to blow up and just being able to be a
So
food influencer.
somebody could reach out to you and say, "Hey, I need a catering for 30 people, an event, or
Yes.
I need meal prep or something like that." They can
Yes,
reach
I
out
do
to you.
meal
Cool.
prep, catering. I do all of it. So you got an event, you need meal prep done for certain health goals that you're trying to reach. I can do that.
Well, we got your chef. Big thanks to Chef Koree for showing us that
Yes,
school
thank
food
you.
isn't just about feeding students. It's
Hmm.
about shaping futures. When you give kids flavor, dignity, and a seat at the table, everything changes. Stay
Yes.
curious, stay hungry, and keep questioning everything food. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. If you ever need me, if we ever could collaborate, I'm just a phone call away.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chef.
Thanks, Chef.
Talk
All
to you
right.
later. Bye.
Talk to you later.